Welcome, Mooresville. I'm your host, Will Comer.
And I'm your co-host, Kathleen Thomas, and you're watching
More
News.
Mooresville schools will have an e-learning school day Wednesday, February 9th. Students will have 5 days to complete those assignments if needed. For more information, go to mooresvilleschools.org.
Mooresville schools have a new COVID-19 protocols for the second semester. Here is Jesse Hartwell with more details.
When the second semester started, the celebrations ending 2021 into 2022 left people hoping that the pandemic would end. Unfortunately, it's not over quite yet, though it seems we are getting close, as the CDC recently updated the rules for quarantines with the new Omicron variant of COVID-19. The new rules reduce the in-class time students miss due to quarantines. Students spend 5 days at home, including weekends, if they are unvaccinated or show symptoms of COVID regardless of vaccination status. If the student comes in contact with the same person who has COVID or someone else who has COVID, they have to reset their 5 days. After the 5 days are up, the students must return to school wearing a mask for an additional 5 days. If a student is vaccinated and is not showing symptoms of COVID, they are permitted to be at school under the condition of wearing a mask for 10 days. We can still count in those 10 days as well. I conclude that the new rules allow students to receive better learning experiences than in previous semesters. It permits students to come back faster and learn from an in-person experience. Thus far, I have been quarantined twice in just a few weeks of school coming back. I believe the ability to come back so soon has allowed me to push through and get back on track with my schoolwork, as well as give me the ability to finish out my senior year without getting lost at the start of the semester. That is all I have for today's Pioneer Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out for our other podcasts and our many avenues of entertainment, sports, and news. I was Jesse Hartwell, signing out.
The Indiana Department of Health will host a COVID-19 testing and vaccination clinic at MHS on February 12th and March 12th. For more information, go to ourshot.in.gov.
Now Xander Marine tells a story about last week's snowstorm.
Last Wednesday began the biggest snowstorm since 2014, where we had 12 inches of snow and put us out of school for 5 days at the end of winter break, which delayed the start of our second semester. This year, it started on Wednesday with a mostly rainy day, also an e-learning day, just to keep us safe from the bus ride home for the fear of ice. Then Thursday began all of the snow, which gave us about 7 inches of snow, and put us into e-learning for both Thursday and Friday.
All right, so what are your thoughts on e-learning?
It's dope. Like, I barely did it, but I like it.
I really like a personal experience, actually interacting with people. Typically, whenever you're just at home, you just do one thing by yourself, it can be easier, it's more time of rest for you, but it's easier just to do it with, maybe you do a group project, so you actually interact with people, and it's a lot more fun like that.
I think e-learning is easier, but at the same time it's harder. We usually do get easier assignments at Mooresville on e-learning than when we're in school, but at the same time it's harder to learn for those assignments whenever you don't have a teacher in front of you where you can just ask them questions, because at home you have to email them, and it's a way longer process than just asking a question. And I think that the e-learning days making up for the snow days is way better now than having to make up the snow days and having e-learning, because that just wouldn't be fair.
For me personally, I definitely prefer to be at school, because I'm the type of person that relies a lot on actually being taught by another person rather than teaching it to myself. And also, I can't see my friends if I'm at home. When I'm here at school, I can see my friends.
E-learning kids that did not have internet or not have access to internet will have 5 school days to make up the work. Now back to the studio.
Gavin Greider and Reagan Owen will now share the evolution of Pokemon games.
There are a lot of game franchises we all love, such as Sonic, Mario, and Minecraft, but one franchise stands out above the rest: Pokemon. With over $90 billion in sales over the years, from merch to the actual games, Pokemon has brought in more money for both Game Freak and Nintendo than was ever imagined. Pokemon is still very popular despite its debut nearly 30 years ago. The franchise has fans of all ages that are willing to try out the new games that come through. The fans can be found throughout the world as well. From small towns to big cities, Pokemon can be found anywhere, including our hometown of Mooresville. Pokemon games come in 3 forms, including the mainstream games, the spin-offs that maybe 3 people actually play, and the card games. Competitive Pokemon card playing is actually relatively common, although it can take some time to learn. White Flag Games hosts tournaments for the game where members of our community can hash it out and show how good they are at strategy and deck building. These tournaments aren't just found here, however. They can be found all over the world. Basically anywhere you can find Pokemon cards, you'll find card players and collectors alike. As for the mainstream games, most are set up generally the same way. There are a few basic mechanics that stay relatively constant throughout each of the 8 generations, but of course there are some rule breakers. Generation 7 was the first and only main game to break the tradition of having a system of 8 gyms. Rather, it had lots of different trials for each type, and 4 grand trials before you moved on to the Elite Four and the Champion. Generations 1 through 5 didn't contain Fairy types, and Generation 1 didn't have Dark types. There are a total of 18 types now, with Fairy honestly being one of the most recognized, even though it wasn't a part of Pokemon until Generation 6. But in the beginning, there were only 16. As for the remakes, Pokemon Legends Arceus, the newest addition to Game Freak's ever-growing collection of Pokemon games, is a rule breaker to the extreme. Considering the game was set in an alternate universe that's very similar to Ancient Sinnoh, which was Generation 4, of course there are going to be a lot of structural differences. The main focus of the game is collecting rather than battling, and battling requires a lot more skill. The game is also extremely open world, which gives players a brand new perspective on how Pokemon live in the wild. Even with the major structural differences, this game is different from older games in minor ways as well. The very small details such as the player character's expressions, the way Pokemon react when they spot you nearby, and even the fact that your feet actually touch the stairs when you walk on them. It all shows how far Game Freak has come in their game designs, and gives us insight into what the future of the company may hold.
More details about Pokemon will be available in a 2-part series soon on our YouTube channel.
The choir department is getting ready for their competition season. Here's an interview with Mr. Dameron to see how they're preparing.
Ready, go.
The competing show choirs have begun preparing for their competition season. Each choir has after-school practices on Tuesdays and Thursdays to prepare them for competition season. They practice their music and dance performances over this time. The choirs perform a show choir and concert choir performance at each competition. How do you as a director prepare for the competition season?
Oh wow. Well, okay, so we have to pick out the music ahead of time, and that involves analyzing what we had done so far in the year and thinking about maybe songs we have not done ever before and picking out something that's unique and maybe in a language we've never sung in. Maybe I have to think about the range of the singers, and so then for a concert choir, I'm picking out all this music to try to challenge everyone, and then with the final goal of making state finals, so picking again something that's unique that maybe other groups have not done. For show choir, it's a lot about making sure that the music is appropriate for what we're trying to do at the level that we need to do, and then from there, it's trying to plan out what rehearsals we need, what are we going to do in these rehearsals, how do I get people fired up to do what we need to do? Because sometimes it's not about ability, it's about like the motivation behind what we're doing.
How have you seen change in the choirs over the year?
Oh, yeah, a ton. So, yeah. At the beginning of the year, even in the most advanced ensembles, it's still, not like it was at the end of the year before. So, you build up this ensemble to be this, and then when we start back over, at the beginning of the next year. And it's just awesome to see the amount of change that happens. Even in, a couple of months, you can see a huge difference in the tone production and the energy, and once we get more familiar with like some of the choreography, the way we're able to sing and perform because we have gotten better at what we're doing.
What are your expectations for the upcoming season?
No, my expectations are that that we continue to improve. And again, for show choir, our goal is we want to make finals when we go. We want to keep getting better. I want my students to have a ton of fun at these competitions. We haven't done it in a couple years, And for concert choir, the goal is to be as awesome as we can and to get as good as we can at this music. But in reality, at the end of competition season, we're only going to be at 60 or 70% of where we will be at the end when we're getting ready for state finals. And so it's just the process of understanding the process of what it takes to accomplish these things.
Their first competition will be on February 12th at Pike High School. They are scheduled for 5 competitions over the course of February and March.
Here is Alex for information on sports.
The Lady Pioneers played against Terre Haute North in the second round of sectionals on Sunday, February 6th. The Pioneers won 57-52. They will move on to the sectional final and play Brownsburg tonight, February 8th. This Friday, February 11th, the boys varsity basketball team will face Martinsville at home. It is also the Hall of Fame game. Every month, the Mooresville High School Athletic Department announces an Athlete of the Week award. For the week of January 10th through January 22nd, the awards were given to the girls basketball senior Allie Graber and boys wrestling senior Luke Bullock. During this year's basketball season, you may have noticed the village signs, but what does it mean? Ben Casper shares the story behind the village.
Hello everyone, I'm Ben Casper, and I'm here today interviewing the head coach for the varsity basketball team, Coach Boz. Hey Ben.
I'm good, thank you.
So there's been a lot of controversy, about a lot of talk around the school about this new title, The Village. First question about it, what does it mean?
For us, obviously it plays off our name, Mooresville, but for us, the old adage that it takes a village, so we really want to embrace an inclusive environment with our basketball program, and that's all the way from kindergarten through 12th grade, and we want everybody to feel like they're a part of that. So, when you look at the collective good of a village, it's everybody working together for the benefit of the overall purpose. And with our basketball program, I think it's important to establish that sort of culture that we want, where we're all working together for that collective good, which is the development of our program, the development of the young men in our program to meet our maximum potential.
So, did it come from you, or is it just an idea that someone else came up with, or?
No, it's something that I came up with as it pertained to to our program and the identity and the culture that we wanted to establish here. And obviously, it helps when you can play off the name of the school, but in the summertime we were going with the Ville.
Yeah.
That's on ourselves, the Ville. So then we started to look at the village. And I felt like the village is a better ideology for us when you talk about not just what we want to do as a high school program at the varsity level, but what we want to do collectively throughout our whole program and our whole culture.
Yeah. So going through this season so far, how does it feel to be 10-4? Are you satisfied with your record so far?
Oh, it feels great. There are a couple games we felt like we should have won, and we let kind of slip away. But to be where we're at with the young men that we have, and a lot of guys having their first opportunity on the varsity dance floor, it's great to have a winning record. It's great to be in the position that we're in as far as the conference race is concerned. And I think the important thing is that we're doing it collectively together. We're not relying on one or two particular individuals. It's a total team effort for us, and our guys have embraced that. And I'm 100% pleased with the work that they put in order to make it happen.
Yeah, that's really good stuff right there. You guys have been doing great. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching, everyone, and go check out our website. You will find it at www.mooresvilleschools.org/pioneertv. Come check us out.
John Clampett interviewed Zach Woodson and Ashton Holtzclaw about their season.
Welcome everyone, my name is John Clampett. I'm going to be interviewing two senior basketball players.
Hi, I'm senior guard Ashton Holtzclaw.
And I am senior guard Zach Woodson.
Okay, so first question is, a headline coming into the season, you guys had a new coach. What were your thoughts about coming into the season with a new coach you've never played for before?
It's been a great opportunity, new pace, new play style. We like to get up and down more this season, obviously, compared to last season. And I feel like it's really shown what we can do.
Yeah, we graduated a lot of seniors last year, so our style of play would have to be different this year. And I guess the new coach just brings in a new vibe to the team and new energy.
All right, so like you guys said, the new coach obviously seems to have brought a new energy to the program. What's it like to play for him as opposed to Coach Carter the past few years?
Both coaches are great in regards to their own play styles, and Coach Carter's been here a long time. He had some great winning seasons and winning teams. I think it was just time for someone new to step in and fresh face for the program, and he's been great too, Coach Bowser.
Okay, so for you two in particular, how have your guys' roles changed this year as opposed to the previous few years you've been playing varsity?
In the previous years when we played, we had two dominant big men that we played with, so it was a lot of feeding them, letting them do their thing. But now with them gone, we have our own roles. Now we're the ones trying to score, we're the ones really pushing the pace.
Yeah, I would say one of the big new roles would be a leadership position. Like I said, we graduated 3 seniors, so 2 seniors here have to step into the leadership role, and that's just being more vocal. And like Ashton said, we're more guard oriented this year, so putting in a scoring position more than last year.
So overall, it's a pretty young team this year. How exciting is that to you guys for the future of Pioneer basketball?
Us having a young team is exciting for the future of Mooresville basketball because there's so much talent on this team. Yeah, us being seniors, we know what these people are capable of, and they're capable of a lot of things that people probably don't expect them to be of. But I see a lot of sectional championships being up soon.
Yeah, this younger group really proved to us seniors that they're willing to work and compete every day for our long-term goals. So it's exciting to have those kids in our program.
And last question, what kind of potential do you think this team has for the rest of this year? And are you confident that this team has the ability to make a deep playoff run?
Yeah, I think our team has a lot of potential. I feel like when we play our best, that we can be matched up against any team in the state and have a chance to win those games. And sectional's wide open this year, and our team's pretty tough. So, I see a sectional championship in our future.
Our team has the potential to do whatever we want to as long as we complete the game plan and play as we should and how we can play. And for postseason, I feel like we definitely have a sectional championship coming up. This sectional is wide open. All teams are trying to find their groove, and I feel like we have found ours. And if we play how we're supposed to, I feel like we'll come out with it.
Thank you guys for taking your time out of the day, and good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Johnny. It was great.
Now to Austin Marine at the Pioneer Pavilion with a construction update.
A month ago, I had the opportunity to go inside of the Pioneer Pavilion to show you what's going on the inside and what to expect when it opens.
We have a lot of local folks here working, a lot of Mooresville area, Morgan County area, a lot of pride in this.
Try not to make it a boring, dull environment when possible. Come up with a unique opportunity to find a solution to a challenge.
This section will have the same floor as the cafeteria because this will be part of the cafeteria. But these are 2 restrooms, 2 classrooms. Is set up for the track for a divider wall that'll come through here, so you can divide it into 2 classrooms or have it open for one big lecture room. What they call a cloud. It'll be dropped ceiling tiles. They'll be down and make it like a cloud underneath of it. Big grand hallway, open area. They're talking about, I think one of the plans is to have some seating in here for students, like if you're waiting for a practice or something like that, you can do homework and just sit in here and relax. And if there's like a long wrestling match, swimming meet, something like that, you can, people can come in here and kind of gather. The track is right about 12 laps to a mile. The track is actually about 10 feet wide, 10, 11 feet wide. And then in this end, this section is going to have some workout equipment. The doorway down there that goes to the other room you can see over there, that's the wrestling room. They have enough room for 3 sets of wrestling mats in there. There may be middle school basketball games in there. It'll be ISHA basketball courts, 1 long court and 2 cross courts, just like the South Gym. The upper windows are going to be translucent, like the upper windows on the pool, and to let light in without any glare coming in. This is the concession stand.
Fitness center where all the weight equipment will be. We'll have a row of weight equipment down this wall or through the center here. There will be a short track section that will actually have an artificial turf in it, and then the rest of the floor will be rubber. And then there will be free weights lined up along this wall here with mirrors along that wall. There will be a small platform with a giant projection screen. I think we have a blue, it's white, and then there's a blue band around where you see all this red steel.
The Pioneer Pavilion is still scheduled to open in March 2022, and now back to the studio.
Thank you, Austin. Back to Will.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram and Facebook to support Pioneer TV, and keep up with our short films and podcasts.
That's all for More News this week. I was your co-host, Kathleen Thomas.
And I was your host, Will Comer. Tune in March 4th for the next
More News.